many of you have taken a trip or vacation somewhere and later on regretted it? Only a few, maybe. Okay. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, today I will share some planning techniques to help you plan your vacation so it will be stress-free and more memorable. It's a pretty simple method. You'll have to take 3 things into consideration: budget, purpose, and time. A few weeks ago, one of my coworkers told me a story about his friend who maxed out his credit card on vacation expenses. Actually, he didn't realize how much he had spent until he was trying to use the card somewhere and it was denied. It was a stressful situation for him. So to avoid this type of situation, the solution is pretty simple. What you want to do is try to come up with a budget or a plan of expenses. Some of the things to account for are travel and transportation, food and beverages, cost for activities that you may want to do, car rental. Once you have this budget set up, it's a good idea to keep a little extra for unforeseen expenses. And ladies, this is where your expense for shopping for clothes or souvenirs that are just too good to pass up, put it in that. So after you have all that and the vacation is over and you come back home and the credit card statement comes home, it's not a surprise. And we all have a purpose for doing certain things in our lives, and vacation should also have a purpose. And it won't be the same every time. So it's important to think about, before deciding on a destination, to think about what you want to accomplish from it. Do you want to go sightseeing, relax, visit family and friends? Or maybe you want to take part in activities like water sports or skiing. Once you have a purpose, it's a good idea to start thinking about the destinations and researching where you'll be able to fulfill some of that needs. This might be a difficult step when you're planning for other people as well, because people have different interests and one trip might not be enough for fulfilling everyone's needs. But this is crucial because you don't want to end up going on a trip with someone and it might not match your purpose, and later on come back thinking that things didn't go as expected. Also, having a purpose will help in preparing the type of clothing that you want to take for the trip. Maybe it's weather related, or depending on the type of activity you want to do. And spontaneous day trips are pretty good, but for big ones, I think you want to think ahead of time and also start thinking of how many days you want to spend there and what you want to do. For some of us, we may be limited by the number of days of vacation we have because of work schedules or other commitments. And also, some destinations may only be open certain times of the year. Maybe some of the attractions are closed. So it's a good idea to think of those ahead of time. Once you know how many days you want to spend there and what time of the year you want to go, it's a good idea to start thinking about how you'll get there, how much time it'll take for that, and think of transportation methods. So now I've given you some ideas for your trip planning. Are any of you wondering which one do I start out with first? Do I start thinking about budget, purpose, or time? What do you think? Which one would you start out with? Preston, which one do you think first?
Time. Budget.
I see with the large group here, I think you can say that it doesn't really matter which one you pick first, as long as it suits your needs. And do keep in mind that they are interdependent, and if you start out with budget first, the other two will have to depend on that. And similarly, if you start out with one of the other factors. So today I've shared some of the planning methods that I've used when I plan my vacation, and hope when you go home today, you'll start using that to plan your next vacation.